if the listeners remember, we did our first episode on the introductory material to this book, where Van Til says that the primary reason he wrote this book is to set forth in positive fashion a biblical approach to apologetics. He says he's doing this not only for students of the Reformed tradition, but also for critics. I think implied in that is a call to those in the Reformed tradition to really reflect on our own hearts, our own methods as we talk about theology, maybe repenting of less biblical, inconsistent forms of reasoning in our theology and in our approach to apologetics. But secondly, Van Til says he's writing this to address contemporary objections to his thought and to his apologetic method. Now, no sooner does he speak of these contemporary objections than he dives right into them. And if the listener wants to go back to that earlier episode, we tried to give a taxonomy, a sort of classification of these contemporary objections, largely coming from his own Dutch colleagues, many of which wrote articles against Van Til in the Calvin Forum Journal. But I think, Lane, I think we settled on this description of these contemporary objections as being, on the one hand, advancing an infection thesis, namely that Van Til's theology has been so thoroughly infected by non-Christian thought and especially non-Christian philosophy, principally idealism, that he has severely departed from the Reformed tradition. But in addition to this infection thesis, we have a rejection thesis. That is, Van Til's opponents argue that Van Til also takes the Reformed tradition in such a way that he finds no point of contact with any non-Christian thinker at all. And Van Til is making the obvious point that his critics are themselves contradictory in their allegations. Is he so infected with non-Christian philosophy that he's no longer Christian? Or is he so resolutely committed to the uniqueness of the Christian faith that he has no point of contact when dialoguing with unbelievers? Now, Van Til is going to concede, he's going to recognize that his opponents concede certain points about his own position. They too acknowledge the chasm of difference between Christian and non-Christian thought. They too recognize in Van Til that he acknowledges common grace insights in various non-Christian thinkers, as he puts it, truth as far as it goes. But after Van Til does all this with respect to his contemporary critics, he says, we're not going to understand the criticisms well enough unless we first understand the structure of his thought. So leaving those contemporary critics aside for the moment, Van Til launches in part one into the structure of his own thought. And one of the first things he says is, we are interested in defending the Christian faith as a unit. We're intent on taking all of the deepest presuppositions revealed in the scriptures concerning God and creation and man and covenant, and image and Christ and the atonement, and we're seeking to advance the Christian faith as revealed in the Old and New Testaments of Holy Scripture. And he says the way that Christianity has been taught as a unit is under various logical headings in systematic theology. And so Van Til's approach is going to be to take up those logical headings, beginning with the doctrine of God, to advance his own thoughts so that we might understand his distinctively Reformed apologetic and be able to understand his answers to his contemporary critics. So there you go. In this episode, I think we're probably just going to be able to talk about Van Til's wonderful and foundational discussion of the doctrine of God, maybe teasing out certain features of his discussion that are relevant for apologetics, but understanding Van Til in his own terms as he reaffirms a classically Reformed understanding of who
Yeah.
God is.